Thank you for tuning in to our podcast. This is part 3 of our 3-part series on the sacred elements. We recommend watching part 1 and 2 first. You'll find the link in the description. Thank you for watching and consider subscribing to our channel. Wind is, in the way we see it, the most free element there is. The wind element is, you cannot hold wind. It will find a way out. And what we can learn from that is, let the wind blow you wherever you want to be, wherever the wind wants to be. The wind is like every other element, highly intelligent. What I like so much about wind is that it is always there. You just have to be aware of it. You have just to learn to look with different eyes to it. But wind is, you can ask the wind everything. You can ask the wind to hug you. Try it. Stand outside and try it. Ask the wind to hug you. And when you ask it from that place, then it will react. And Robin,
I'm sorry that
Robin has a
bugging
new
me so
camera.
Sorry. How do we
And
get
it
stuck?
reacts on hand gestures. So, wind is we are always surrounded by wind. So therefore, you can always be hugged by Pachamama with her wind. And when you need a hug, go outside. When there is nobody else to give you, go outside. But there is a but by the wind. Because when the wind is as free as it can also do whatever it wants. And that is not something to be scared of, but is something to enjoy. In a sense that when you ask something to the wind, it can give you something completely else. And that can be sometimes frustrating, sometimes, especially in the way we are taught to think, is, oh, I did do something wrong. No, the wind is just playing with you. The wind is very, very playful and, how do I say that in a nice way? Naughty. Sometimes, not always. The wind finds incredible ways to communicate with you. What I see now in front of me, what happened last summer, is that I was in my app flow, in a deep communication towards myself, and I got an ping, some light bulb above my head, some aha moment, and I have made a noise. I don't know what anymore, and it was the wind was not blowing at all, but 2 leaves 5 meters next to me started to applaud me. The rest of the leaves were silent. There were 2 leaves. There are here 5 trees very close to my house, but only 2 of those leaves were applauding. So I started to talk to the wind. So thank you. Get I applause? Do you applaud me for that? And yeah, then the wind said all kinds of things, nice things this time. But don't be afraid of the playfulness of the wind. The wind can blow. I seeing now the very famous picture or a video of how she called Marilyn Monroe, that she walks over a gate, that her skirt is flying up. All those things wind can do with you. It can, and just enjoy it. Robin?
Wind. Wind is my favorite. Wind is very much high energy trickster energy. And oftentimes, even if you think you understand what the answer was, it's not quite it. It'll show up a little bit differently, and then you'll hear the laugh. There's very much trickster energy in the wind. Wind loves to give you the lesson through the back door. It's fun. It's fun. If you don't take yourself too seriously, you can have a lot of fun. In your life, where wind is just the best to call on the wind is in oppressive situations. When you're anything oppressive and you need liberation, wind is the ultimate liberation. And I think that may be why sometimes it shows up, because we're so attached to what we think we need. I will be happy when this shows up. I'll be happy if this works out that way. And wind is like, nope, you don't have it. That's not it. So if you can move yourself to a place where communing with the wind, it can be just the little playful in your hair, or it can be the one that just you spent a half an hour fixing your hair and you step out and it's just a whoosh, right? It's just gone. You got to go with that because there was a reason for that. You kind of maybe have to get over yourself a little bit and then move into your day, something. So you just kind of have to meet wind where wind is. It's not going to do anything your way. And I feel whenever I work extensively with wind. When we were in immersion class and we did our first Yantin that I did with wind, I chose wind. And I stayed with wind for months. I didn't go week by week. And so I just, it was really, it's like, well, that's not what I was thinking. What do you mean? There was just a whole bunch of that. And it was like, finally, I was like, I don't think the wind is ever going to give me just a straight answer. Yeah. So if you're that experience, you're not doing anything wrong. It's exactly how wind interacts with us. Clear out the old thoughts, the old outdated. We're not aware that the thoughts we're building our reality on are outdated, that we have outgrown them. But wind is, and so you'll experience it that way. And as long as you can be playful and accept the playfulness, you will not be so frustrated. Yeah.
And what wind also is probably you have heard from the ripple effect or the ripple effect. You can do that in water, but also in wind. As a saying is that when an butterfly flaps its wings here, it will give a storm in China. So that is also the power of the wind. So when I am do sometimes healing on distance, I use a lot with that, the wind. So when I want to send a prayer or a healing or a blessing, I use the wind. I use my wind to send it, and I'm literally asking the wind to send it to that or that person. And so you can send in whatever way you will do and can do towards somebody else. And so you can do that with healing, with love, for instance, when your loved ones are not close, or you have to go for business to another place and can see them, send them love. When you're, I see it the most by parents with older child. So when they don't have any saying anymore what the child has to do or should do, they they tend to get a little bit, oh, they have to learn and they have to listen to me, but they don't want to listen. Just send them love. Send them love. And you can send that everything with the wind. It has to come, of course, with this good, from this good place inside of you. It's not from the brain to what, it has to come from your heart, and you can send it in every direction you want to send it to. And you can ask the wind. And also with this, the wind can be a little bit stubborn, but I am also stubborn. So in that sense, it
That
doesn't
works.
matter. So that works
That works.
very well together.
Can I just pop in right here? And I would like to say how you're saying that we can use the wind and parents with their children and all of this. At the same time, I want to kind of call attention to the wind, the elements that we experience, the wind that we breathe in our body and out of our body is the same wind our ancestors breathed in and out. The water in our body and on our planet is the same water. That water was here before us. It'll be here after us. Our our ancestors have left prayers in that water, in that air. So when you're praying for your child to learn whatever it is you're praying for your child, you have the power of your ancestors' prayers behind you. Consciously add that to your prayers. Do you have to know what those prayers were? No. Just know that they were there, and that adds to, especially when you're talking about your own children, because there's the lineage, the power of the lineage behind that. So we are breathing in the exact same air that our ancestors breathed in, and we can use their prayer than our prayers. So when we send a prayer out on that breath, consciously including the ancestors, it's very powerful.
And also, it goes a little bit what Robin is saying: breathe in and breathe out. And but I see our voice as a wind instrument, and when we learn to use our voice, and if it's in a speaking way or a singing way, or but expressing yourself from the heart through your chords, your, I don't know how you call them in English,
Vocal
and
cords.
vocal chords, and breathing out this expression from your heart or your brain when you want to do that, but learning to play, not to play in a playful sense, but to play as in an instrument, learning to play, to work with your wind instrument is such a powerful thing, is such a beautiful way to express. You can say two words and you can touch somebody else deeply in the heart when it goes via the right direction.
Mhm.
And um, I think that's it's a beautiful thing of what Earth, where Earth can help you with, and how wind, how we can give this vibration, if it's emotional or whatever frequency you want to give to this wind, it will carry it and it will bring it there where it needs to be. And sometimes, like wind is, it can turn a little bit. So sometimes for the better, and sometimes because the wind thought you had to do it a little bit else, a little bit different. So then you can come in a conflict where you didn't want to be in. But
You might have
wind
missed
thought,
the point.
yeah, wind thought it was necessary to come in that conflict. And
And then you say thank you.
yes, thank you, wind.
And you say thank you.
And um, because wind is not only what Robin was saying, carry every prayer, but all the intelligence, like water is, because wind is also as old as our Mother Earth is, and highly intelligent. So when you make use also with this wind, not in the normal breathing in and breathing out, but conscious breathing in and breathing out, that's also a very good way to help yourself. And so you can very easily give wind also a specific vibration, for instance, or frequency. You can um, uh, give this wind the frequency of love. And that is the frequency you breathe in. And you can expand this frequency when you breathe in very deep. So, and you can expand all this love first in your thorax, and you turn it around and you let this wind go passing your heart and breathe love out again. And so in that way, you're not only healing and helping yourself and feeling all this love, but you also breathing the love outside of you. So with that, I was talking before about a ripple effect, but that is a part of the ripple effect we can have as humans. When many people are doing that and also being aware that they have to breathe out love, or at least a high frequency energy, then everything what is surrounding you will react on your breathing out. And when they start doing that, then we have the ripple effect, and we can only by breathing conscience, we can change the world. Robin?
I begin my every day with my first breath. I breathe the deepest breath very consciously. It's my first breath of the day. I greet my morning. I take in my breath consciously, breathe in only love. I feel it run through my whole body, and then I put it back out through my heart, and I breathe out only love, and I set that intention for the whole day. I breathe in only love, I breathe out only love. That's thanks to Puma. That's a Puma teaching. And so I start my every morning
Yes.
right there, and it makes an incredible difference. It makes an incredible difference on how you approach the communication situations through. It makes an incredible difference on how you perceive what's happening to you, because nothing's actually happening to you. Yeah, I would really say that is a very, very, very powerful place to start with the most simple exercise to do that would impact your day And it's obvious right from the very beginning. You'll notice that day one, you'll just notice a big difference. You program the breath, and then everything, all the vibration that comes out of your body is delivered with love. Everything that comes in your body is received through love. Very powerful.
And when we take the wind and going towards the fire, well, when you want to burn some wood, you also need the wind. So the wind and the fire are close connected. And when I go back to the thoughts, what Robin was saying already is that your thoughts are also wind. So when it's a storm in your head, then it's also a storm in the rest of you. And it can be that the wind is blowing out your fire. Or it can make the fire so big that it will burn you.
Yes.
And so you have, as Robin also already said, Robin said already very much wise things, as if she is very much
Thanks.
connected with all these elements. Um, and that what Robin was saying is that it is important to find a balance, that not one of them should be in control or more, or as so when you have too much water, it can also dim your fire. When there is too much earth, it can be possible that there can be no water. So it is the balance. And
Yeah, and you if you've got too much earth, you could put your fire out altogether. Because, like, when you're camping, how do you make sure your fire is out? You cover it with earth.
yes,
So you
yes.
really have to make sure it's in balance and nobody's leading. It's all balance.
And why I start about this when we're talking about fire is because you have to be a master in taking care of your fire. Well, otherwise you will be cold, because there is no warmth from your fire, or you get burned. And so perhaps we can say that the fire is the most dangerous element, but not in the sense to be afraid of, but be conscious of that. And for me, fire is an ginormous learning. Fire is also very an perhaps even a yes or no element. Who says yes or no? For instance, I have for almost 20 years, or even more than 20 years, I heat my house with wood. So I am very well trained in lighting the fire. But fire talks me sometimes, or teach me sometimes that when you are not in your fire, you cannot lit me. So then I have to go back inside myself, first checking if fire is right, of course. And 100% it is always right. I am not in my fire. So the fire can only be lit on, or at least in my life, when I am fueling my fire. And it is really stupid to look sometimes. I can 5-10 minutes trying to lit the fire, nothing is happening. I go inward, connect with my inner fire, let it burn, let it feel, and let it make me warm all over my body. I lit the fire, whoosh, and it is on. And when I'm talking about literal fire, And having for so many years already a wood stove, so I like to look at fire very much, of course. So what is the fire telling you? The flames, but also the embers and the smoke that sometimes come from the flames. It can tell you everything you need to know in your life.
Mhm.
And do you first want to react on this or want
I
to
was
go
just
on?
going to throw a few examples in there. For example, the smoke. Okay. When you try to light the fire, does it just smoke and not really light? Or do you get a nice clear flame and nice white smoke right off the beginning? Um, is your smoke contaminated? Is there something dark in it? You'll see all those. Sometimes you can even see rainbows in the fire and the smoke. Okay. And the fire itself is a combination of elements. The wood is earth. Okay. And the fire and the air to keep the fire going. You know, if it's burning wood, it's probably releasing a little bit of the water that's in the wood. So, but not too much water because the fire would go out. So the fire itself is I want to say a lesson in the balance of the elements. And I also have a really cute story from when my daughter was about 10 or 11. My daughter always loved fire, and for those astrology people, she's an Aries, so that's very just fits perfectly. And she to meet her, you think nothing but fire. She's all fire. She's fire right in your face, fire. Okay. And we were doing a campfire, and we adults had lit the fire at least 3 times, and it just kept going out. So it's like, "Raven, come light the fire." And we were, like, getting the wood, and we turned around, and it was like, we didn't do anything. She was just like she brought the consciousness of the pure fire to the fire, and nothing else happened. She's just like, "Okay." She just poked a little bit and went, "Whew," and it was just like, yeah. So you really bring your inner fire and it will reflect. But then, please, please pay attention. There are so many messages in that fire. Last night I had a fire with my friend after we got done hiking, and you start with the paper and the little pieces of wood, and after it burned for a little while, I looked in, and one of the little pieces of paper had fluttered over to the side of the fire pit, and it had a heart in it. Like, it's just that one little it was, like, really ash, like, if you would've touched it, it would've all fallen apart, but there was just that one little heart just sitting there waiting for us to see it. Yeah, there's so many messages, and fire gazing is my favorite, and my friends, if you can't do a fire, grab a candle. Grab a candle, you get just as many messages with your candle.
Yes, and you can become all. I'm reacting on the story what Robin just told about the little heart, and then you can react from the brain with it, and saying, "Oh, that's nothing, and it just happens," and try to feel. Teach your brain other thoughts. Teach your brain other things, but be learn to be amazed, learn to feel when something like this is happening to you. um, Learn to feel what it is meaning for you. React from the feeling and not from the brain. And even when Robin is telling her story, feel what it is meaning, perhaps for yourself, but also try to feel what it is meaning for her. What happened with her? What happened with that friend? What was with her? And so it is easy to have thoughts about, and that's nothing, and that's just that's very easy to do. That is just running away from feeling, running away from where life is all about. And you can do, of
As
course,
I call avoiding the deep.
yeah, it's
That's
running away from something. I don't want to say why you are running away. You have to think about it yourself, and you have to find your own answers in that. And also, I was thinking the same thing when was Robin talking about colors that fire can have. It was already as if my brain was thinking thoughts that other people think, oh, that's just chemical reaction from this on this. No, it can be, but it's all earth. It's all Pachamama. It's all a reaction. And when you see it, it's yours. It's for you. And feel the color. Feel what color it is and feel what color that means for you. And don't try to make it small with thoughts, because it is not. It's such a beautiful gift that every day, 1,000 times a day, are there for you from Pachamama. She does it with her elements, and she does it also in other ways. But learn to listen to them. When I go back to the
with that.
fire, go on.
I was going to say, with that being said, with the little heart that happened in our fire, okay, given that we had gone on the hike and we did the earth to not have an injury, and then we came home and we made a fire. Now, we could have dismissed that little heart because, yeah, it's just, and it just happened that way, and that little piece just planted that way. But if you look at it from over here, it doesn't look like a heart. But I'm not looking at it from over there. And the spirit of that fire knew I was not looking at it from over there. The spirit of that fire gave me that gift because I was sitting there and would see it the way I saw it. It was intentionally given as a gift of consciousness. So again, when you want to dismiss, like a lot of people, they will dismiss when you get reflections, when you're taking photos. That's just the reflection. Yes, I know, but it doesn't happen every time. And there was a person standing over here next to me, took the same picture and didn't get that reflection. It means something. So instead of dismissing and it's this or that, and it's and. Yes, there's a scientific explanation for it and a spiritual explanation for it as well. And if you can move yourself into the miracle of it, then you receive the gift.
Yes. And fire, we have to touch on fire also, of course, with passion. And
Yes.
especially when it's about passion, it is also very important that you let it free, but not free that you don't look at it. You have to take care of your passion, and it needs to be free. It needs to be expressed. And a passion has different sides, of course. We can talk about sexual passion, but we can also talk about creative sexual. No, that's not what I wanted to say.
It works though.
That can
I'm
also
with
be
you.
very passionate. But I was trying to say being creative with passion. And when you don't take care of that fire, and put too much thought in it, then you can burn yourself very easily. So passion is the way I look at passion is when somebody is very passionate but not very trained it's for me is liking when you have a mountain is the top, the narrow part of the mountain. When you want to work with passion, you really have to be careful where you walk. Well, when you don't be careful enough, then it's easy to go one or the other side from the mountain. And that's also a beautiful thing, because being passionate, being full of fire and feeling that inside of you from that passion is of course something very beautiful. And there is a but, as I said before, and but that shouldn't stop you from being passionate. And of course, I live in Europe and Northern Europe, and of course, the Southern Europe people are way more passionate as people. So when two Italian people having a fight is in our terms as if they almost kill themselves. And and that's just because they are born that way. So for them it's way more easy, and so they are trained way more in being passionate without killing each other, is for them way more easier as for us northern European people. But it doesn't mean that we don't have passion and we don't can feel that ginormous glow of that warmth that passion can have, Robbie.
And I was this perfect lead into your Italian couple, that passion can be anger. Fire is anger. And rather than deny that anger, sit with it, express it, let it have free reign. No, it's going to consume you immediately. So bring some conscious awareness to that. I call this compassionate awareness. You're not judging yourself. You don't try to not be angry. It's not wrong to be angry. We need anger to propel us forward in life. If you just comes to the top of my mind is the grieving process. When you're going through a grieving process, a loss, you can sit in that depression forever if it wasn't for fire or anger. Anger is a part of the grieving process. It's what moves you past the depression. So don't try to deny anger, then it becomes your shadow self, and then it's got full reign. Yeah, express it. Might not have to be like the Italians, but kind of get it out there somehow. Maybe put a little water in there. I don't know. She throws some water in there, that'll be steam. So I don't know. Find
I
your own
think
secret, but find one.
I think when you throw water on them, they don't kill themselves, but they kill you. So,
Yeah.
but for me, it is a very big difference. How do I say it? On what or because of what I am angry. When I'm angry towards somebody or something, then I'm holding myself back because I want to know, because I'm not in Aini then. But am I angry because of me? Or not towards me, but because that life and I'm trying so hard and nothing is going? Then let your fire go. Then let it go and be angry. but make the difference, because when you are angry towards somebody, what isn't theirs but only yours, then you will burn yourself, but the other one also.
Yeah.
So make be conscious of what you are angry. And sometimes I'm thinking now in traffic, for instance, it is very easy to become angry about somebody else, but it's also a gift. It's also a gift. Well, why you become angry? Look what that other a person is doing is probably exactly what you are not doing enough. Or look at it in whatever way, but it's more a gift for you, like a mirror. So you look in the mirror, and that's why you become angry. So in that way, angry with passion, I wouldn't do. I would
Correct.
go inward and find my lesson and put love in it. But when I'm frustrated, why I'm trying so hard and it doesn't go, and do that with passion. And so I want to make a difference there.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Absolutely. Um, I had something, but I lost it. Oh, how people talk about um projection, because it's being used a little bit not quite right. It kind of have the idea. It's like, oh, I'm something is happening. Oh, you're just projecting your feelings onto me. In one way, maybe that's true, but really it's like how you said, I'm looking at that person and I'm thinking that person is making me angry. What is actually happening is my being is trying to tell me that I am not owning something inside myself. I'm not recognizing it, so I'm putting it out here so I will become aware of it. And looking at someone else being angry about something is not necessarily, I caused it, I need to accept that, or I'm denying my own anger and I'm putting it on her. And that's kind of possible, but I like the way that you put it, where it's something I'm not doing enough of inside myself. Therefore, I have to look at it out here so I can become aware of it. So it's not that I want to deny the anger or the passion. Also, not that I have so much passion, I'm putting it out there onto that person. It's more that there is an aspect of my passion that I'm not owning, that maybe I haven't been introduced to before. Maybe there's a new side of my passion that I need to learn. And so it's going to come through the actions of that person first. But it's not because I'm projecting myself onto that person, but that person has been gifted to me because my own elements are wanting me to see the imbalance within myself, and that what I'm looking at out of my body is the answer to what I need to add in my body.
I want to go to a step back to the passion and anger, and to live it when you are frustrated about life, for instance, because the quality of fire, passion, is transformation, is transmutation even. And so look at the wood fire again. The fire transformed the wood in ash. it cannot be transformed back to wood again.
Mhm.
And so fire is a very beautiful element that can transform everything in something completely new. And when you use all this passion, when you are angry, you can transform there where you are stuck in an open doorway. You can rewrite timelines. You can do a lot with that passion when you use it wisely. Fire is, as we have said already, at one side a very dangerous element, but because you can burn yourself so easily, but also when you don't use your fire enough, you will have it cold. That also means you digest not well enough. You don't feed yourself, your cells don't have enough of energy to function because they are not in the right temperature. So it means way more than I'm freezing cold, or it means your whole body is functioning less when you don't have enough fire. At the other side, you can burn yourself. So that are the dangers of fire, but it's a very, very powerful transformer. And for that, so when you need to transform something from your inside as something in your shadows, you can also use fire. For instance, we give examples with love, but you also can do it with fire. But and that's what when you are not used to working with it, you have to learn the qualities and what element do you use. There are even people who saying that love is also an element. In my example, you can take love also as an element. So which element do you use in what moment? What element is more helpful for you at this time? And so you have to learn to work with them. You have to learn to flow with them. And we are back in with water. You have, and every element has its place, and every element can help you a lot. But sometimes you need a little bit more water, the other time a little bit more wind, little bit more earth, or I don't know, fire. I haven't, and you have to learn for yourself first, knowing what is going on inside you, and then when you have learned more from those elements, what can you use to help yourself?
Yeah, for example, with passion, okay, see, and I'm in an interaction with somebody in a professional setting, and the situation really has me angry. I feel that it's not fair. I feel I'm getting the short end of the stick, but I have to sit and listen to this person, and it's too bad, so sad, that's the way it is. Am I actually just gonna get angry and let that all flow out? No, it's not a good idea. You wanna keep your job. So, what would I bring to the situation? Typically, right there, that's one of those times where I'll have that rock in my pocket, and I'll just reach in my pocket and put that stone in my hand. That brings some earth. It grounds me. Earth is also a great thing if you have too much air, you got too much going on in your head and it's all chaotic. Grab that stone, put your feet in the grass. That brings you out of chaos. You're grounded. You see, but for that works differently. I'm pulling myself out of chaos when it's air. Earth with fire is going to contain the fire. You see, so the elements interact with each other in just endless ways, and you just find out what works for you. Yeah. Um, with water, I could add water to that situation, although if I'm already mad at the person's from me, I'm not really gonna try to put some gentle feelings in there right at the moment. Maybe after I go back and I sit on my lunch hour, maybe, but not in the moment. I'm not typically that good at that. But that's how you would use water, is adopt an empathetic point of view. Then probably wouldn't ever move right over into sympathetic, but empathetic at least, to see where they're coming from. They're if it's at work especially, they've got a boss, somebody's telling them what to do too. They have restrictions, they've got things they've got that you don't know anything about, you know? So, um, okay, so imbalance of fire, if I use water, if I use air, earth. Yeah, air. Okay, so if I'm
I
already
use
mad.
I use air in this kind of situations because I send them the love. I want to be them completely surrounded with love, and so that for them it's easier to come from that place of love, and our connection will become way better. So I'm using always, and then I'm not using my hand. That's my normal way. But I'm just breathing in deep, go to my heart, and I'm breathing out, but directed my breath towards this person.
Mhm.
So I think it's time to end this podcast. When you want to learn more from this, we still have a community where we would like very much that you will become a member of. And in this community, we learn you working with it. Our community is everything we talk about here, but then in practice, so that you can really do the things you need to do for your life, that your life becomes the most beautiful it can be. And that we will help you, we will guide you, that you bring your life to a higher frequency. So that are all things we do in our circle. So when you feel something for that, please look at our website. I will put the website down here. And of course, what Robin is saying now, push the buttons, as Robin's
Push the
saying.
buttons,
You can
buttons,
push
buttons.
first her buttons, and when you're ready with that, push on
Push
the
'em up.
like.
I'll send you love.
So
Okay, my
YouTube,
friends, till next time.
when you really want to support us, and also like the videos we make, and perhaps even you can do something with it for yourself. It's important for the whole YouTube behind the scenes stuff that you react as so what you want, like it or subscribe. You can put the bell icon, and please give a reaction. And when you want to ask or comment or whatever it is, please put it down there in the
Yeah,
reaction.
I have people in my personal life are coming and telling me that they're watching the podcast, and they're telling me the impact. I would love if anybody could drop a comment in there. If any of this impacted you, if you had a new revelation, something that we said made something, a realization, anything, drop us a comment. And most definitely, if there's anything you want us to cover a little more extensively, drop us a comment. We'll make sure we do that.
Okay. Have a nice
Okay.
time. Thank you for
Have a
listening.
beautiful week.
Bye.